remodeling this small laundry room, try to make organize it a little better, try to make it a little bit more functionable here. The side-by-side washer, gonna stack it in the corner, dryer on top of the washer. Gonna have to get a hardware kit for that. Get rid of the cabinets, move the plumbing over, and add an electrical box for the washer to get that stuff behind. Get rid of the wash tub. Gonna add 2 cabinets and a countertop and a shelf up top instead of the cabinets. And I started by smashing up this floor. As a remodeler's dream here. The guy, whoever put this in, had no idea what they were doing. It's not, I don't think there was anything holding this tile down. It's not stuck at all. I think the grout was holding it in place. I don't know, but that came up pretty easy. The underlayment, they went right over top of 1/4 inch Luan or plywood. That wasn't down very well, so all that's got to go. Clean it up real good. And located my studs here. As far as moving this plumbing over, want to get it behind where the washer dryer are going to be. I'm going to try to reuse some of this stuff, so I ended up cutting out about a 4-foot by 4-foot chunk so I can get in there and work. I got the new underlayment down and get a good look at what's going on as far as the pipes and the drain and stuff. So it looks fairly simple. Gonna cut the insulation out of there and get some of that foil stuff for behind it, that foil insulation. Cut the drain back. Gonna reuse the box, some of the drains, and redo the valve part and that kind of stuff. So cutting the drain off right there, leaving room to get a coupling on there. Up there, I'm going to do the same thing. Save all the pieces because I'm going to reuse that. I'm just extending it over about 18 inches. The drain for the sink and the supply lines, got to extend those up into the bottom of the cabinet. The drain I'm going to cut off, leaving a little bit of pipe showing so I can get the fitting on there for the new plumbing. And then here you can see I moved the box over, mounted the box, and then worked from there, getting the copper tied in and the drain, a couple fittings and a short piece of pipe is all I really needed for that. The supply lines for the sink, got that stuff moved. We'll re-insulate and test for leaks and all that kind of stuff. If you're using one of these new valves, I just kind of want to mock this up, show you what I did. If you're going to solder, this is only if you're going to solder your pipes. What I did is you take that screw out and the fitting will come out of the bottom of that valve body there. The thing just comes apart, both sides. If you're going to solder, just make sure you get the that rubber washer off of there so you don't melt it or burn it or something. So hang on to those, and then you can take that fitting and solder it to a short piece of pipe. What I did was just soldered it to my pipe and then dropped it in the box, so you're not trying to torch around that flimsy plastic box there. So after you get your pipe soldered on, a short piece of pipe, like I said, then you can do the rest of your soldering underneath and not worry about melting that box. After it's cooled off, make sure you get your rubber washers back on there before you put the valve body back on. And like I said, then you can solder from underneath it. You don't have to worry about getting this thing too hot. So get your valve body back on there. Make sure you get your washers on, and take your screws. Make sure your washers, there's a washer on that screw too. Make sure that didn't fall off, and get those tightened down real good, and then you can finish running your plumbing and whatnot. The countertop, this is just an over-the-shelf or a stock item from like Depot. If you got to cut this thing any way, shape, or form, I flip them upside down. I got a brand new blade in my saw. Just that'll minimize chipping because of the way your blade spins and whatnot. So turn upside down, cut it. These actually come, you can get an end cap kit for these, for the raw edge, if you have a raw edge showing or both sides showing. This is an end cap kit that comes with pieces, parts. It's like an iron-on, or you can use a heat gun to heat these things up, and that'll activate the glue. It comes with some chunks of wood to build up the edge, so you can apply that little piece of Formica they give you. It's kind of oversized a little bit. What I do is I'll hold it flush with the bottom of the countertop and glue it on that way and then trim it off. But building up that one side, you're going to have to build up the rest of it too. That sits between the two cabinets, and then another little support block on the other end, and that'll help support that whole top. So I use a heat gun. Just watch you don't burn it if you're doing it this way with your heat gun, but it's got to get pretty hot to activate that glue. Once it's stuck real good, you'll know it. You can use a little J roller. You don't necessarily have to have one of those, but it kind of makes it nice. Like I said, I held it flush to the bottom so it sticks up over the top, and then I'll take a laminate trimmer with a straight bit on it, cut the excess off, and then use a file and some sandpaper to finish it up the rest of the way so it's not sharp, and you got it filed down real good. This bathroom actually gets a laminate plank floor, which I got installed here after I set the cabinets. There's two cabinets there, and then I dry fit the top, just make sure everything's fitting nice. I got my drywall patch going. I got my trim on. It's actually plastic trim. They opted for plastic. They didn't want to have to paint or worry about water. So after I got all that stuff in, I took the top out, back out, so I didn't damage it while I'm doing some of this other stuff, finishing the drywall and whatnot. I found this plug-in dryer duct connector thing I thought would be a good idea for behind this stacked washer dryer, because I didn't want it to come apart. So I trimmed the pipe and trimmed the fitting that goes in the wall, and then the other end attaches to your hose, which I got one of those semi-rigid adjustable hoses there, so it would stay rigid, and that just plugs into the other piece that's in the wall like that, and you can take it off, put it on, but it won't fall off. Sometimes those things will fall off, and this being a stacked washer and dryer, it's gonna be really hard to get back in here, so I'm trying to make everything as permanent as possible. The other thing I did is I took some clear silicone where the washer and dryer are going to sit, and I squirted some where the baseboard meets the floor. If they ever get a drip or a tiny leak or something, hopefully they can find it before it finds its way underneath the floor. So a little extra protection there. Doesn't hurt. To get this stacked washer dryer in here, I got to hook up the hose first and get it up where I can reach it. And then I made this little block thing that's going to sit on the floor behind the washing machine, because I don't want this thing wiggling backwards and, you know, smashing the pipe or knocking it loose or anything. So that's just going to keep it from moving backwards. The washing machine, this comes with a little mounting hardware to mount the dryer to the washer. Comes with two clips that get fastened after it's on top of the washing machine. You can't do this before. You got to do it after you get it on there, because it has to clip into the dryer first, and then it screws to the washing machine. And then there's a piece that goes on the dryer, and a little peel and stick thing that goes between the two on the front. So I made all my connections, got the water turned on, just to make sure nothing's dripping and whatnot, and everything's hooked up, and I got the dryer vent where I can reach it, because there's not a lot of room in here at all. And then we'll set the dryer up on top. There's a bracket that goes on the bottom of the front of the dryer, that black thing there. It screws to the front of the dryer, and that'll keep it from smashing the washing machine. And then there's a peel and stick thing that goes between the two to keep it from moving. And then the brackets on the back, they hook to the back of the dryer first, and then you screw it to the washing machine, and then you can hook up your hose and scoot both washer and dryer back in there. This top, I got started on the sink, which I marked the sink where it goes. Used a nice sharp spade bit to start the corners, and then I'll flip it upside down again and cut from the underside to minimize any chipping. Just take your time doing that. And then after I use the circular saw, I'll use the jigsaw to finish up those cuts. And then I can put the countertop in. I dropped the sink in and hooked all that up. Get the shelf brackets up. Everything working real nice. Everything's where it needs to be. So the last thing I want to do is try to cover that hole between the dryer there on the top so nothing falls back there. So I just installed a little cleat on the wall, and I found some Velcro peel and stick tabs, and I'm going to fasten the front edge of that with the Velcro. I want this thing to be easy to get on and off in case you ever got to get back here. I don't want it to be a big hassle. So the peel and stick Velcro, and then the strip on the wall, put a couple screws in that. You can see these little tabs. They're peel and stick, and they actually stick really well. And then I'm going to put 2 screws into that cleat that's on the wall. So all you really need to do is pop them 2 screws out, and you can get back there pretty easy. But that'll keep you from, losing your socks and underwear and stuff back there and whatnot. So yeah, it's a small laundry room. It's a lot more functional than it used to be, and it looks a lot nicer too. It's finished off really nice. So she's real happy. She's going to put her laundry basket up on top of that dryer there, and yeah, it's good to go. So yeah, if you need some ideas, I hope that helps. So good luck.